Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I haven't done a fashion video in a while, so I thought it would be fun to show you guys a bunch of fall and winter wardrobe items from my closet that I have thrifted over the last few years. I used to be someone who did not understand thrifting at all, didn't get the appeal, didn't understand how people did it successfully. I just was so overwhelmed by the whole process. But over the last few years, I've definitely sharpened my thrifting skills and also found it to be something that I really quite enjoy. So here are some specifically fall winter items that I've bought in the last few years. First up is this Fila crew neck sweatshirt that I got actually at Goodwill. I feel like Fila has really kind of come back around in the last few years and become like a trendy brand again. I just thought this sweatshirt was really cute and just a nice basic to have in my wardrobe. It is a little bit on the smaller side. I usually like my sweatshirts to be like big and baggy, but it's actually nice to have one that's a little more fitted because it's good for layering underneath, you know, a coat or jacket or something like that. Next up is this black, I would say mid-weight coat. It is a wrap coat, and I just think that it's so chic and just kind of classic. I like to roll the sleeves up just a little bit, just my preference. I like the sleeves to be, you know, hit at a certain height. So you can wear it open, and then of course it has these ties where you can tie it closed and give it more of like a cinched waist look. And then at the top here it has this kind of extra fabric that you can sort of wrap up top, I don't know, for a bit more of a covered up look. And then of course you can wear the flaps down to have more of an open look. It has pockets, it's just really comfortable, and it's honestly kind of giving me Downton Abbey vibes. Anything that gives me Downton Abbey vibes is definitely something I'm going to want to wear. So, love this. This is an item that I bought at a consignment store in the town where my parents live, which has unfortunately now closed, but this is a Madewell shirt dress. I've never really owned a shirt dress before, but I just thought it was kind of a cute and versatile piece. It has pockets, which is nice, and it obviously has a bit more of a boxy look. And so what I like to do is take this, which is a belt that I thrifted. I was looking for just like a non-leather skinny belt, and I found one at a local charity thrift store. But I like to take this belt with this dress, fasten it on the tightest setting, and then I have this kind of belted look. Kind of gives the dress a little bit more shape. Just a couple different options for wearing it. I've worn it both ways. This next item is one of my absolute favorite things that I've ever thrifted, which are the Cotton Bloomers by Uncle Studios, and I thrifted these off of Depop. Uncle Studios is a very small Canadian sustainable fashion brand. A lot of it's pretty expensive, understandably so, because it's, you know, locally and ethically made. But I had kind of been browsing Depop to see if I could find these, and I couldn't believe it when I found them in my size and the color that I wanted. They were still pretty pricey because the seller really hadn't worn them hardly at all, so they were still selling it for, you know, a fair amount, but I definitely still saved a lot. So I usually roll up the bottom just one, you know, so I make like a little cuff. Sometimes I wear them at full length, but I like kind of wearing them with one little cuff. These are just so well made, so well constructed. One thing I don't love about them is that the waistband is super, super narrow, and I have a pretty small waist, especially compared to my hips. So I usually don't have issues with things fitting me, especially with high-waisted stuff, but these are just very, very tight around the waist, which I think is part of the look, but I think that they made them just a little too tight. But overall, I think that they're just super flattering. This is just the exact type of style that I love, with the high-waisted and the pleats and having a little bit of extra room in the like thigh and hip area. You can dress them up a little, you can dress them down. I just know that I'm going to really enjoy these and have them for a long time. So this is a sweater that I actually thrifted off of an Instagram account called Sorority Vintage. It's an oversized Izod sweater. This account, Sorority, I bought this when they were really, really small. They only had like 10,000 followers at the time. Now they have about like 600,000 or 700,000, and it's just kind of changed a lot in general, and it's impossible to buy anything from them. But I just really like this sweater. My sort of style, I would say, is very kind of masculine chic, and I just really liked this sweater. Just reminded me of like a dad sweater from the 90s. I like wearing it tucked in because it is very big, and I also roll up the sleeves because they would be really long otherwise. Just as a little bonus item, not a clothing item, but this is a necklace that I got from Sorority Vintage. Basically what they do is they take charms from old designer handbags and then put them into jewelry. So this one is an old Louis Vuitton charm they then made into a necklace. It's a very unique piece, but I would say like they're kind of overpriced. The chain isn't super high quality, but I had returned something to them and I had a credit, so I just used it on this. And I do think that it is a very elegant and unique piece of jewelry. This next sweater I actually also thrifted from Goodwill. It is a Cynthia Rowley sweater, which Cynthia Rowley is a pretty high-end brand, and so this was kind of a steal at Goodwill. I really like this sort of rich navy color, and it's got the knit has some sheen to it. The neck can be worn up or kind of folded down, so I sort of wear it kind of both ways, I would say. Again, I like to wear it with a little tuck. It looks really chic. When I bought it, there was a hole in the armpit, and still is, because I tried to sew it up with a needle and thread, and I guess you can't really patch up knitwear with a needle and thread. You know, there's a couple of loose pieces of yarn here and there on the sweater, but really not noticeable. Overall, it's in great condition. And this isn't really anything too special, but this is a flannel that I got from a local charity thrift store. Just a classic flannel. It's Land's End though, so it's pretty nice. Wear it tucked in, wear it with the sleeves rolled up, play with the buttons. You can also wear it over a t-shirt. You guys know how flannels work. This piece, I would say, is my favorite piece that I've ever thrifted. It is this sort of sequined sweater jacket, I guess you would call it. I got this from the vintage section of the consignment store near my parents' house. I just thought it was so elegant, and it felt so high quality and well made and so well maintained. I just thought it had this kind of elegance and timelessness to it. And I just could imagine the previous owner of this jacket going to like all of these elegant parties and fancy events, and just kind of reminds me of a bygone time. I love the little button detailing. I love the differentiation of the sequins on the cuff. I have worn this with nice black pants and kind of dressed it up, and then I've also worn it like I'm wearing it here with jeans and just out to dinner. It's surprisingly very versatile for how elegant it looks. It can be dressed down really well. I would say buying this jacket and, you know, experiencing it, definitely I understood the sort of treasure hunt aspect of thrifting where you find a treasure. Next is this Madewell sweater. I thrifted this from Depop, and it is a bell sleeve sweater, although I wish the bell sleeves were a little bit more pronounced. The cuffs are just a little loose, so I think that's why the bell sleeves aren't as like poofy as I wish they were. Again, like to wear it tucked in. It's just a nice kind of classic black sweater. I just had to include this because, you know, it's not the most fashionable piece in my closet, but it is something that I thrifted and that I wear seriously all the time once it gets cold. I mean, I only bought it last winter, but if you follow me on Instagram, you pretty much see me wearing this every single day. Once the weather starts getting cold, it's just so comfortable and soft and warm. I got this at Goodwill. Again, looked and felt like it had never been worn before. Like I said, it's nothing super fashionable or aesthetic, but I actually really like how it looks. I love the color, and it's just very comforting. Like, I just wish my life could always feel like this, just like soft and fuzzy and warm. And that is the last item in my fall winter thrifted collection. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that maybe you got some inspiration from this video. I definitely do not want to encourage just mindless consumerism or just going shopping for the sake of it, or to, you know, numb yourself or to try to fill a void, which I think is why a lot of people go shopping. But if you are looking to add some new pieces to your wardrobe, I highly recommend checking out local thrift stores, charity stores, consignment shops, and then even places like Depop and Poshmark now just make it so easy to browse a huge selection of items. You obviously have to have clothing items that you will wear over and over again and that will make you happy and that you'll want to keep for a long time, because I think ultimately that's the most sustainable thing of all. Thank you for checking this video out. I hope you liked some of the pieces. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you next time. Bye!